Hello, it's Classy here, back with another Tribes video, and today I'm going to do a collaboration with Noorret and Gnikgnok, both from Server 8. We're going to showcase Kid Kakashi from the current banner, and also a T-heavy team that features him inside. So, Noorret is the leader of Kage, the best alliance on Server 8. He's been in podcasts with me and Payne. And since this is his Kid Kakashi, he's going to introduce it for everyone and go through his skills. And Gnikgnok is a really great team builder, also from Kage. I've worked with him in a lot of projects, including the team building guide, and he'll be showcasing the team idea and the concept.
Hey guys, it's Noorret here, and today I'm going to be showing you SR Kid Kakashi. So this is his art. I think it's pretty cool, the good arts. They always provide us with some pretty good arts, and being part of a trio that really looks at art hard, I can tell you that this is an SR art, but taking classes with Classy. So you can tell that this is Kid Kakashi because he has two eyes that are not Sharingan, and the Kakashi that I know has one Sharingan. So this is clearly Kid Kakashi. So let's take a look at his stats now. These are his stats, he's just like a regular T unit, but he does do a pretty good chunk of damage, with having critical at 39% and damage increase rate at 30.17. Now keep in mind that this is Gamma statue dependent, so depending on how many coins you've rolled in the casino of Gamma, then it depends what stats you have. So the less you have, the lower these stats are going to be. It's not going to be a ton, but it will reduce your damage a bit. So let's talk about his skills now. So being a T unit, he has a lot of skills that buff other units. So his skill, his basic jutsu, does power creep damage, it does bonus damage towards D units, it does DRR towards D units, and it lowers DRR of all attack shinobis for the rest of battle. So it's really good at debuffing enemy resistance and damage. His skill, which are the proc, gives you 12% attack damage for tactical shinobis for the rest of battle, and his Genius Sun gives you damage increase rate if attacking first, and it boosts all critical rate if also attacking first. So he's really good if you have really high speed. Also, I have his gear at 70 and 2 at 65 because it's really hard to get these goddamn stones. I have him at tier 16 at level 93, and I didn't put any scrolls and talismans because I'm saving myself for a unit that's gonna release or not release next banner. But let's all put our hands together and bless 1221. May no one ever speak ill of it. So let's take a look at his vitalities, and I have them all maxed at 20 as well because the Rune Festival has been really good with me for money and vitality potions. So now let's also look at his limit break. I cannot get a second limit break because you need him at 6 stars, and I don't have any shards for him right now, but I did get his first one, which gives him bonus critical rate and speed. So wrapping that all up, that leaves him as a pretty good character. He would have a lot more power. If I did raise him with scrolls and talismans, I'm pretty sure he could hit the high 50k. But it also pisses me off because I got him to 5868 and I was only one away from 5869, and I really would have liked to do that for the video and the meme.
Hello Classy viewers, Gnikgnok here, discussing the theory behind the team build and some of the decision making surrounding that process. We're certainly not saying this is the best version of the team to represent the theory, just a team we've thrown together to provide an example. The theory behind this build is to stack team-wide buffs to make your character stronger. We've already seen buffs be useful in places like Flashback Genealogy, also known as FG, and Alliance Team Battle, aka ATB, but a lot of those strategies have surrounded buffs from Shinobi's Skill 2, which apply mid-battle, or buffs to a specific cell or set of Shinobi that carry the team. This team build is intended more to spread the love to the entire team, and to apply these buffs at the beginning of the fight rather than in the middle, so that our Shinobi are strong from start to finish. Our hope is that our Shinobi start strong and get even stronger over the course of the fight, relying more on buffed units than crowd control such as stuns, which you may see in other, more general team builds. With that in mind, let's dive in, starting at the 4th cell. Here, you'll see an example of a cell that's lacking in crowd control because this is a cell that's looking to kill. Our idea here is to make the most of our team's immediate buffs to ensure a kill, and proc the SR Kakashi's jutsu bonuses, further buffing our whole team's offense. Itachi is a hard-hitting AoE unit who passively buffs the cell both offensively and defensively to help ensure you're able to secure a kill and to protect our T units from being killed. Ideally, Itachi can secure a kill. If he's not able to, we have Kid Kakashi in the back. Kid Kakashi is here to help offensively buff the cell with his skill 4, and to either finish a kill that was set up by his cellmates, or debuff another unit after Itachi gets a kill, thanks to the debuffs on Kid Kakashi's jutsu. Now for the Spirit Cell. The first thing you may notice about this Spirit Cell is that Sai is not in the first slot. One may be accustomed to seeing Sai first because he's able to buff with his skill 2. However, for this team setup, and for Arena in general, when using a chakra generator like Sai, we're not looking to use our skill 2, and are much more likely to be using jutsu for the entire fight. For this reason, Sai is set up to benefit from the debuffs given by Kirin's jutsu, and the buffs provided by Boruto's jutsu, and is in the back. This cell has a less targeted strategy than Force, which is designed to kill, this cell mostly being comprised of just the best T units in the game. Between Kirin's passive buffs, jutsu debuffs, and a possible AoE stun, along with Boruto's nuking potential and jutsu buffs, this cell can be quite deadly too. Remember, Sai's jutsu damage is not negligible, as you might think. He also receives increased damage modifiers if attacking as part of a full 3-man cell, and can do some damage on his own. Finally, our energy cell contains a crowd control heavy, defensive cell comprised of 2 of the best offensive buffers for this team build as a whole, Shikamaru and Deidara. While not as individually strong, Shikamaru and Deidara are placed in energy to benefit from the speed boost, and work to apply their crowd control before the enemy can act. One thing you'll notice about this cell is that it contains the only non-T unit on the team. UR Sasori could be replaced with a T unit in order to benefit more from the team-wide buffs that are going around, and that could be the right decision. But when crafting this team, we determined that UR Sasori is enough of a powerhouse on his own to include in this cell for hefty damage, debuffs on the enemy, and protective buffs to help keep Shikamaru and Deidara alive. Sasori is a damage-dealing tank who grows even tankier because he also benefits from Kid Kakashi's very unique Limit Break 2 ability. Like I mentioned, the goal behind this team is to buff your units at the start of the fight and have them be strong from the outset. At the start of the fight alone, you're looking at the following buffs to your entire team: damage reduction rate and guard rate from Kidkashi's Limit Break 2, damage increase rate, damage reduction rate from Boruto's Skill 4, guard rate, guard damage reduction rate from Boruto's Limit Break 2, critical damage and critical suppression rate from Deidara's Skill 4 and Limit Break 2, attack and damage reduction rate from Shikamaru, Skill 4 and Limit Break 2. All in all, you're gaining quite a bit of tankiness and quite a bit of offense just from the innate passive buffs that apply immediately. You're also looking at a variety of buffs that come for individual cells, either immediately, such as with Kirin's Skill 4 and Limit Break 2, or when the cell becomes active, like with Itachi and with UR Sasori. Itachi is bringing guard rate, guard suppression rate, critical rate, and critical damage all to his cell in Force, and Sasori is bringing damage reduction rate, status effect rate, which is particularly useful with his cellmates Shikamaru and Deidara, as well as status effect suppression rate for his cell. Finally, you're still receiving a ton of buffs that are received mid-fight, as you may be used to. This includes guard rate from Itachi, attack and critical rate from Itachi's jutsu, attack from Kakashi's Skill 2, damage increase rate, critical damage increase rate from Mangekyo Kakashi's jutsu when getting a kill in that cell, damage increase rate, damage reduction rate, critical suppression rate from Kakashi's Skill 4 when allies die, guard suppression rate from Boruto's Skill 2, damage increase rate, damage reduction rate from Boruto's jutsu, critical rate from Deidara's jutsu, attack from Shikamaru's jutsu. We just get a ton of buffs in this team, and this doesn't include the variety of debuffs that the team has to offer: DRR, DIR, attack, defense, and more. Again, there were a ton of considerations for this team, and we don't profess to have made the best version of the team, but we're looking forward to how this concept can grow as new units are released. I did want to give a special mention to T. Jiraiya, which is the original UR Jiraiya, as well as to Toby, the SR, both of whom would have made fine additions to the team, but didn't quite make our cut. Definitely prime targets for replacements if you don't have this exact setup. For this video, our team that we're going to show today is missing the Limit Break 2s for Kid Kakashi and UR Boruto. These both add defensive stats at the start of the fight for our T units, so remember that the team you're seeing won't be able to take as much damage as this team would be able to in theory. With all that being said, I'll pass it over to Classy with the Arena Showcase. Thank you for your time.
Alright, so I'm here with the first arena clip, and right away at the start you can see that there are a ton of buffs that happen at the start of the turn, and these are all due to the fourth abilities and limit break 2s of a lot of these units. So going in order, for Itachi, he's boosting guard and guard suppression rate for his active allies. Kakashi, if he's going first, he'll boost damage increase rate and crits for active allies. Boruto is boosting damage increase rate and damage reduction rate for T units, all T units in the team. Sai's giving chakra, as everybody knows, with his LB2. Shikamaru is boosting attack for all T units. Deidara is boosting critical damage increase rate for all units, and Sasori with his LB2 is lowering damage reduction rate for all enemies. So right away at the start of the turn we have a huge advantage since all of these units are already boosting each other. And yeah, the enemy also has a few abilities that proc, but we have a ton more. So yeah, Kid Kakashi does 76k on his single attack, which isn't bad for type down. And you saw the blue shield pop up, which is the guard rate on Kakashi. So he got protected by Criminal Itachi. And there's another guard. And this time Sasori is using his regular fourth skill and not the limit broken part. Shikamaru is reducing damage reduction rate on Kankuro by using his Shadow Stitch Jutsu. Deidara is boosting critical rate with his C3. Sasori is using an attack down debuff with his Puppet Jutsu. And yeah, like Tamari did basically no damage. And Kakashi's boosting the damage increase rate and critical rate again, and he's gonna Jutsu. And the cool thing about Kid Kakashi is how he interacts with two different types. So we'll get to see that with his jutsu. Itachi's boosting critical rate for 3 turns. The animation for the white light blade is really good. Okay, so he did 123k, which is pretty good for type down damage. And what he's going to do is he's going to lower damage reduction rate for all enemy defense shinobi, so the big tanks are going to be easier to take out. And he's going to lower damage increase rate for all attack shinobi on the enemy team. And we didn't get to see that for Kakashi because he was taken out, but it applied to everybody else, including these 3A units. So yeah, a lot of us know what Kirin does. He boosts attack for his active allies. With his 4th skill, he'll lower damage reduction rate with his AoE stun. And yeah, that's a ton of damage. And Boruto also increases damage reduction rate for all of his allies when he's using his Boruto stream, and also all allies damage increase rate. Shikamaru, again, lowering damage reduction rate, and he has a chance to basically stun them with his Shadow Bind. And yeah, that's basically the end of this battle. As you can see, we had a huge advantage right away from the start of the battle because of all those buffs. Alright, so I'm here with the second battle, And right away we can see a lot of the fourth skills triggering. And Shikamaru's giving attack to T units, Deidara's boosting critical damage increase rate, Sasori is boosting damage reduction rate, status effect rate, and status effect suppression rate. Since we're going first, Kid Kakashi's giving damage increase rate and critical rate, and T Boruto is giving damage increase rate and damage reduction rate for T's, and Sai's giving chakra. So again, a ton of buffs in the beginning of the battle. And the enemy only has 2 compared to our 6. So yeah, now Itachi's coming in, boosting guard rate. And we have Kamui here for the offensive buffs. Alright, you can see the guard rate popping up. So Itachi's able to tank 3 hits, taking only like 25% damage. And we have chakra bars full. Yep, that's the AoE stun, damage reduction rate down. Boruto boosting DIR and DRR. And more guard rate on our team. So everyone's pretty healthy right now. And yeah, we're going first again, so Kid Kakashi is just giving extra damage and crits. Yeah, you saw the Shadow Bind and the damage reduction rate decrease. So Shadow Bind is basically a stun, so really good for messing with their rotation. And there's another stun from Deidara. Oh, and there's a nuke from Sasori. He would have debuffed everyone there because of all the status effects. And by this point, we're like super far ahead because of all of the buffs that we got in the beginning. So this team is like a snowball. Like you get an early advantage, and if you're able to really survive with a lot of your buff units, then you just snowball into a victory. Also, this probably shows how strong T Itachi is. Here we go with the White Light Blade from Kid Kakashi. 236k on single target, which is nice for same type. Also, he takes like 0 damage from Gaara. And yeah, the White Light Blade's a great ability. It affects both D's and A's in a negative way for the enemies. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this battle. All the units worked together with their passive skills, and the jutsus were able to finish off the enemies. So yeah, again, shout out to Noorret and Gnikgnok. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something.